Hey everyone, welcome to issue 0 of the official Crossover Comics Network podcast. I'm your host, Cody, for this episode. I'm here with a special panel of guests. We have JJ. That's JJ for all you audio listeners. We did.
I'm JJ from JJ's Comic Stuff on TikTok and pretty much everywhere else.
Hmm. See, that's helpful. You have just like one name on everything. That's nice. Mine's split up, it's a bunch of different stuff. Anyways, um, we also have Christian. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, buddy? My username mostly everywhere is comic book
Yep,
stash.
yep.
Comic book and then stash as in like stash, because of the one in your face.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I just read comic books and make videos, man.
Yeah, you really dug yourself in the hole with the mustache, right? I think we've talked about that before, but now you can't shave it, right?
Nope.
Yeah, no, they were talking today about like at work about like shaving it. I was like, no, I can't.
You don't understand. I can't shave it. I have a thing I do after work where I make these videos. I can't. Yeah.
Oh God.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense to me, dude.
Yeah, I need my mustache for the
Yep.
videos. It's kind of a staple of the genre.
So
Keep
we
it
also
ambiguous.
have we also have on the panel Long Box. What's up,
Yes.
dude?
Hey everybody. I am Longbox Entertainment. My secret identity is Michael. You can call me Mike. Um, I'm Longbox Entertainment on TikTok, and I just created Instagram. So the social media, it's a work in progress. But yeah, more to come. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and we've got the woman behind the chair. She joined us for this. She's going to be a frequent guest, and I'm sure on all both of our podcasts. But we have Sarah.
Hey. I'm Sarah. I'm also low key dumb. That's about it.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I play games on Twitch and I'm a big nerd. That's it. Bye.
It,
Someone who might be listening to this or watching this, they might be wondering, what is crossover comics? So to that, I'll point to the founder of crossover comics, Christian. Why don't you tell us a little bit
Hey, how's it
about
going, buddy?
that?
So crossover comics was interesting to me because I started making comic book content because I read comic books and then I had really no one to talk to them about. I mean, I knew Sarah, could talk to Sarah about them, but not a lot of people. So my girlfriend recommended, hey, start a TikTok, and then one faithful, I think Wednesday, a guy named Cody gave me a shout out on his video. And then we became friends, and I was like, "Hey, what if I make like a server to talk to just my friends?" And basically, I had seen other like TikTokers. I don't want to call myself a TikToker, but I guess that's what I am. Other TikTokers have Discord servers, but it was like with their fans, which is totally cool. But I just wanted somewhere where I could talk to my friends, and I added JJ and Cody, and then we started adding more people, and then it started getting like a little bit out of control. And then I turned to Sarah because she knows how to handle these things, and I was like, I need your help. And yeah, she became my number one admin right here. And yeah, no, I mean it's evolved a little bit. Crossover Comics now. I mean we have a podcasting network. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's in its simplest form. It's just a community of friends who make comic book content on TikTok and other social media. And yeah, we just try to help
Yeah,
each other, and it's a pretty fun place. It's a pretty nice thing to have in my life.
yeah.
He approached me with about 7 people in the group and he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, okay, I understand Discord. So then we put up like a temporary name. It was actually comic books and stuff in the beginning. So
True.
we
Yep,
made
yep.
a little temporary name and a photo, and then I started actually building the server. And then after that, we opened our doors to everyone, and it's become a really cool place so far.
Yeah. I admins and moderators don't get enough love because like actually managing a Discord server is like actually kind of tough because there's all this like behind the scenes stuff that, maybe Longbox or JJ you guys haven't seen or maybe you
Are
have, I'm
you
not
just
sure,
saying
but
this because you're an admin?
I haven't had that. I just want to flex on everybody. But no, like just managing like, all the different channels and stuff, and I don't know.
Trying to
It's
keep
been
order
pretty
in the
drama free
chaos that
so
is
far.
that server.
Right.
It's definitely
Oh, the
chaos.
first days it was a lot. I don't know if you were there for that long box, but the first few days it was hell.
I remember my first time in there, and I was like, I don't know what anyone is talking about.
Yeah. A lot of
Because
people
It
were
was
new to
getting
Discord, which was
very
an
hectic.
issue.
Thankfully,
yeah,
I
no one
will
was
say I have
replying
noticed
or
in I will know I noticed in other Discord servers there's a lot of like inside jokes. So like if you join in, you're like, oh, I really don't know what's going on. But here it's pretty much just like a conversation. You can jump in at any point.
mm,
So I like that. That makes me happy because I don't think we've had anyone who like hasn't really like fit in or like hasn't had like their thing to talk about.
yeah, I feel like people like I know what other people's niches are. Like I know Longbox, for example, is the Spider-Man Batman, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I feel like we definitely all kind of found our niche, and I think that similar to what Christian was saying, just like so for me, it was like I definitely didn't have anybody in real life that reads comic books and stuff, and had just got into it at the start of the pandemic, I guess. So yeah, TikTok's been a real cool place. Met a lot of cool people, and now we got this cool. Um, I guess Christian said podcast network. That sounds really weird to say, but
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I
it
guess it is,
sounds
right?
like super official.
Right, right. Yeah. Um, I guess like I don't know, Longbox. Tell me a little bit about just like what the server like means for you, or I don't know. It doesn't have to be like that official, but
All right. So, first off, you know, growing up like reading comics or whatnot, I never really had people to talk comics with, you know? It was more of like movies would come out and then, people would come to me and then they're like, oh, you're the comic book guy. So what does this mean? Or, it was that type of thing. And then the only other person I ever had to talk about comics is my wife. Like she
mm,
doesn't read comics as much as me, but like every now and then she'd grab a book and read it and we'd like talk about it and whatnot. But I want to say it wasn't until I got joined on that Discord where I was like, wow, I feel like I found my people,
mm,
and it's just amazing. Like we can talk about these characters and these storylines and it's just a straight conversation. Like we don't have to like explain anything per se unless we never read anything. And I just think that is so cool. And I'm thankful that I, joined that server.
yeah, it's definitely. I hope that everybody like if they don't join crossover comics or whatever, I hope that they can find their community. 'Cause I think it's super important to know that I don't know. This is like the best time ever to be a nerd, right? Like movies, TV, comics, like everything. So it's like having
Right.
people to talk about that stuff with is just so important. So yeah, JJ, I guess I'll just throw the same question to you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's really hard on social media or in real life when you're a fan of like nerdy stuff like comic books or just fandoms in general to find a group of people that's not toxic to talk to. I think we've all seen on TikTok and other apps where it's just like this is mid and this is why and blah 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 blah. It's just people screaming at their cameras and telling you what you should like. And yeah, I feel like everybody who's into this stuff needs to know the other side that isn't that toxic. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
what we have managed to build somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, well said. Like, I think I don't know how many people are in our server at this point. Maybe like like just under 50, I think. But nobody is like that. It's a very welcoming place. Everybody's super
Hmm.
positive, pushing each other's content, supporting in any way they can. And we have kept like the whole, oh, that's mid or LL side of TikTok, like,
Hmm.
away from everybody's content. So I think it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I guess like the point of this episode was kind of just to introduce anyone listening or watching to crossover comics. Maybe you find our application form down below or send us an email if it sounds like something you'd be interested in if you create comic book related content on TikTok. But I guess like the whole point was to introduce that we are going to be starting these two different podcasts. One hosted by myself and Christian, and then another one hosted by JJ and Longbox. So I guess JJ and Longbox, I don't know if you have like your idea fully fleshed out, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about, like what your podcast is going to be, and yeah, that kind of thing. So.
Basically, I'll let you go ahead and start.
You want to go first?
I'll let
JJ?
you start, man.
All right. Okay. All right. So basically, ours is gonna be like kind of like the main crossover comics podcast. We'll be talking about everything from, comic book media, whether it's like the comic books themselves, movies, TVs, video games, all that type of stuff. Just anything that deals with comics and all the media that's around it. We would talk about characters and what they mean to us. We will also do like some history episodes. So,
And I was thinking it was going to be
pretty much all around nerdy content.
I'm trying to look at it as like the comic book version of the Jimmy Fallon show, but without like as much comedy necessarily. You know what I'm saying? More information, but
Right.
The lighter side of stuff,
Right.
not always talking about, oh, well, this contract thing, or this, this is why this company's toxic, or this is why blah, 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 blah. It's like, why can't we just talk about what we're excited about? So instead of trying to narrow it into a box too, we're going to try and keep it pretty generalized for the main overall podcast. That way it's a little bit of everything for everybody. And then we can go and branch off into the other sides of the Crossover Comics Network and give you the more niched aspects of everything.
For sure, yeah. I think that's definitely one of our strengths that we can bring is that we have all these different people in the Discord that we can just say, hey, who wants to jump on a podcast with us? They can just add to it immediately. Everybody's got their niche, like I was saying earlier. So yeah, I think going along with what I said earlier as well, like this is the best time ever to be a nerd, and we got a lot
There's
of nerds.
just so
We got a
much
lot of nerds ready to
content.
talk about nerdy stuff. Yep.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Well,
Just kidding.
it's funny you mentioned that, Sarah, because like I'm trying to think of like some, and obviously we'll talk about this offline, but like I'm trying to think of some video game stuff too, because that's definitely something I'm passionate about. And I know other people are passionate about on the server as well.
For sure.
So yeah, and so that's the idea behind the crossover comics podcast. That's going to be like, I don't know, is flagship the right word? But that's going to be our flagship show. JJ and Longbox are going to put a ton of work into it, right? To make it, super awesome, and can't wait to hear it. The other side of the coin, right, is going to be me and Christian's show. And Christian,
Correct.
maybe you could tell us a little bit about what we're thinking for our show.
I mean, I would say JJ in Longbox's show is very structured, and the other one's gonna be like me and Cody talking. No, but I mean, it'll be more like a conversational thing. Like we'll have guests. Not saying that the other podcast won't have guests, but it'll be more of like a conversation for us. I was thinking personally, like once a month we could do like, oh, this is our favorite comic book of the month, or like we'll do like, here, hey Cody, what's your top 5 superheroes? Like it's just very much like getting to know each other through comic books, and also like getting to know guests through comic books, talking about what we're excited. The thing about podcasts is that I feel like like while we are both podcasts are going to be talking about comic books, it really depends on the people behind it. Like it depends on how we structure it, and I feel like it's gonna be like a conversation. It's gonna be like hanging out with two friends. That's how I see it, at least. I don't know if you want to add more, Cody.
No, I think you summed it up pretty well. It's going to be pretty, free flowing at first. I'm sure we'll kind of structure it a little bit as we go. But the tagline that we were saying was, it's not going to be your first favorite comic book podcast. Might not even be your second favorite comic book podcast. We're aiming for that third spot. That's where we want to land. That's the sweet spot. But yeah, so I guess that'll be the Color Break podcast, and we'll put all the socials for both podcasts down below. Like I said, we'll also put our TikToks, and also put the application if you're a TikTok creator focused on comic book content and you'd like to apply and join Crossover Comics. I'm trying to think.
Or any social media as well.
Yeah, true. I know, cause yeah, exactly. Like Sarah, like I said before, woman behind the chair. She's doing all of our, you know, she got the Twitter and the Instagram and all that stuff. So yeah, very
True.
appreciative. I think that
We
that
official.
might do it. I don't know. Has anyone got any like final thoughts?
Just
I guess I just want to
everybody
add.
who's listening just needs to remember to be kind and be safe, and yeah,
Yeah,
stop making the fandom space such a toxic place.
yeah, absolutely. We all gotta do our part for sure. Christian, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to say before this is all wrapped up, and you know, you hear this talk of applications, and you hear like network, and it might sound like a pretty official thing, you know, like yes, there are applications. There's a podcast network. The only reason why we do all this is because, like JJ say, we want to keep it like a place that's not toxic. We want to keep it a friendly space, and it's just a way for us to like, hey, you want to join? More than happy to have you here. That's the thing. It's not this private VIP. Like we're just friends. Like
Right, yeah,
45
it's not
friends.
like you're trying to get a job. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna
Right.
sit there and
Right.
check your
Yeah.
credit score. We might like the only thing we're looking for is that you're not a toxic person. That's it.
Pretty much. Yeah. Other than that, we're super welcoming. Thank you for Christian for saying that. Because yeah, the word application is kind of like ominous, right? But it really is just like, I don't know. We got to check out your account before you join to make sure you're not some toxic person, like JJ was saying. Longbox, you got any last thoughts, dude?
Um, just to pretty much like piggyback on what you guys were saying, like we're here to have fun, you know, uh, and have a safe, fun environment just to talk about what we love, which is comics. Even if there are some things in the comic book medium that we don't like, we will express it, but we're not gonna just say, this is mid or whatnot. You're gonna get some actual valid criticisms. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. I don't know. Sarah, you got any last words?
Don't forget to be a fan.
Ooh, I like that. All right, we're gonna write that
That's it.
down. Look for a T-shirt that says that. It's gonna cost some money, but um, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
forget to be a fan.
So yeah, I guess that wraps up. Whatever we end up calling this, I think issue 0 is gonna be the name of this episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to be a fan. I love that.